Good day. Let us discuss planning for effective teaching and learning. By the end of this discussion, we will learn how to write a learning plan and construct teaching and learning processes that are developmentally sequenced and aligned with curricular objectives and learning competencies. On this topic, we will explore the basic parts of lesson plan or a learning plan. We will learn how to write learning objectives, determine learning evidences, and write and construct performance checks and tasks. Let us proceed with basic parts of a learning plan or lesson plan. So, learning plan or lesson plan is a teacher's detailed description of a course of instruction or learning trajectory for a lesson. A daily lesson plan is developed by a teacher to guide class learning. It is essential to successful teaching and learning. So we can use learning plan to predict, to anticipate, no, to sequence, to simplify and visualize a lesson. It is critical in teaching and learning process. So we can use a learning plan as a blueprint of the teacher in executing a particular content na kinukuha natin or binabatay natin sa nakalagay sa curriculum guide na binigay ng Department of Education. So it materializes, solidify yung nakalagay sa curriculum guide at ginagamit natin ito sa particular na araw, linggo, no, or buong set ng course. And there are at least 4 types of learning plan. Daily, weekly, topic or unit, and level. When we say daily, no, ito ay yung tinatawag nating detailed lesson plan, no? Kapag sinabi nating daily or detailed lesson plan, ito yung ginagamit ng teacher sa isang particular na araw. See, for example, I will be teaching mathematics plus, no, addition sa grade 1. Yung pagturo ko ng addition sa grade 1, naka-time slot siya ng 8 to 9 a.m. ng Monday. Yung direction ng pagtuturo ko noon from kung merong review of the previous lesson or activity down to reading the learning objectives hanggang sa mag-end siya ng assessment, reflection, and remarks, no? Yun ay nakapaloob sa daily, no, or sa detailed lesson plan. When we say weekly, no, ito yung semi-detailed lesson plan. Ang tinatawag dito sa DepEd ay DLL or Daily Lesson Log. Summary siya or it gives a glimpse doon sa gagawin ni teacher sa bawat araw, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I-detail yung nakalagay sa Monday using the daily one. Pero yung summarize or overview, in order to map, ito yung nakalagay na topic, halimbawa sa addition sa Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, subtraction. So nakalagay on sa weekly or DLL or Daily Lesson Log. When we say topic or unit, yung learning plan ay intended for a chapter in scope. Usually, ginagamit to sa college, no, or program in nature. Maaring some sort of parts ng materialization ng syllabus, no? Yung ginagamit ng mga professors, instructors sa college, how to run the course for the entire chapter or term or unit. No? Ang level naman ay by grade level or year level across section. Say for example, may math teachers or science teachers, English teachers, Filipino teachers, AP teachers, they convene and create one learning plan. So kahit halimbawa ako ay isang AP teacher at ako nasa section 2201, no, or section 1 or section Rizal, and then yung isa kong co-teacher ay sa section Bonifacio, bagamat iba ang aming mga maaaring gamit strategies, pero yung nilalaman or yung konsepto how to execute a learning plan ay iisa. No? So maaari 'yon lalo na kung kinonsolidate siya or kinonvene yung learning plan ng iisang department or isang group ng faculty. So these learning plans should be UBD or understanding by design, meaning backward design yung meron ang learning plan. Kung ano yung gusto mong makita sa end point ng lesson or content, yun dapat yung makikita mo na ipinaplot at dinedirekta right from the beginning ng first part ng learning plan or lesson plan. So, wag tayong malilito when we say DLP, ito yung specific learning plan sa isang araw. That is comprehensive, as if you are narrating what you will going to do, how to teach, what to teach, no? And even why teach. Yung daily log or daily lesson log, ito yung glimpse or summarize para siyang log, no? Or report or introductory ng parts ng Monday, Tuesday hanggang Friday. So in my personal experience, usually ginagamit natin ang DLL, DLP, LP sa K-12. Though sa tertiary, we use syllabus, minsan yung iba naman gumagamit, depende sa discretion ng university administrators at educators kung gagamit sila ng lesson plan or yung tinatawag ngayon during the new normal na alternative mode of teaching and learning plan. No? In identifying the contents in the learning plan, we need to plan the content of instruction. Ito ay makakatulong sa atin to answer what to teach. We need to select the materials. It answers the question how to teach. Gagamit ba tayo ng audiovisual presentation? Gagamit ba tayo ng PowerPoint presentation? Gagamit ba tayo ng products, mock-up, realia? No? Gagamit ba tayo ng experiment, apparatuses, or device? No? Gagamit ba tayo ng blackboard, chalkboard? Gagamit ba tayo ng Manila paper, art materials? And in designing the activities, individual kaya ang gagawin natin? Ano activity? No? Kung pair, pink pair share kaya, dyad. Kung group, gagawa kaya tayo ng sending a problem, experiment, collaborative activity. So yun yung number 3. And in deciding the pacing, no, ito yung time allocation. Pag sa icebreaker kaya or motivation, good for 15 minutes, masusustain na kaya yon, no? Sa formative assessment, asking their a priori knowledge, ano yung nalalaman nila before we proceed with the discussion? Okay na kaya ang 5 minutes? No? And then yung discussion proper, okay kaya doon yung 30 minutes? No? And then yung assessment sa bandang huli, summative, okay na kaya doon ng 10 minutes for 10 items? So ito yung kailangan nating isaalang-alang na in identifying the contents in the learning plan. So keep in mind that contents, objectives, performance standards, learning competencies are clearly described in K-12. Nandun na siya sa curriculum guide. Can we change the content? The answer is no. No? Can we change the objectives? The answer is no. Can we change the performance standards? The answer is no. Kasi itong mga ito, ang content, objectives, performance standards ay nakalagay sa curriculum guide. Kapag binago mo ang content, objectives, performance standards, learning competencies, ibig sabihin hindi ka naka-align sa mga teachers na nagtuturo ng particular na subject na tinuturo mo mula apari hanggang hulo. Pwede bang palitan ng performance task? Yes, no? Quiz? Yes. Exam? Yes, no? Curriculum, pwede bang palitan? Pwede, pero kailangan siya ng revision, ng consultation sa stakeholders, no? From private sector, parents, student government president, marami pang factors, no? Yung evaluation ng existing curriculum, no? Let us be clear that performance tasks should be given per subject, per school year. Isa lang, no? Ito yung binabago or emerging concept sa 21st century K-12, no, na dahil dati ay kada facing or katapusan ng isang content ay nagbibigay tayo ng performance task, ang yari ay na papagod ang ating mga mag-aaral. At the Department of Education introduced performance check. At least ang item nito ay mga 30 to 50 items. Ang performance task ay 100 points. So say for example, first quarter, one performance check. Second quarter, one performance check. Third quarter, one performance check. Fourth quarter, one performance check sa junior high, no? And it will end up yung apat na performance checks na magiging scaffolding leading to performance tasks sa bandang huli. At yun na yung 100 points. Ang performance check or PCs ay hindi dapat kasingtumbas ng points ng performance tasks. Ma-overpower niya yung score. No? Maaaring gamitin mo 25 sa first quarter, 25 second quarter, third, fourth. No? It means lighter lang yung task, no? Or yung check. And then kapag nag-succeed sila doon, yung natutunan nila ng performance check 1, 2, 3, 4, pagsasamahin nila, ito na yung grand output. That is performance task. And you can give them 100 points as items. No? So, pag ganun yung ginamit natin, nililid natin sila to develop their knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Ganun din yung cognitive, affective, psychomotor para mag-arrive sila doon sa performance task. No? Pag naglagay tayo ng mga scaffolding na performance check. And by this, no, it increases our chance to carry out a lesson successfully. No, itong planning, selecting, deciding, and designing. No, we can be more confident if we are using learning plan. No, how to start, what to teach, why to teach, how to teach. No, it also helps us to reflect our practices. Ano yung kailangan ko improve? Saan ako kinapos ng oras? Saan ako napahaba ang oras sa pagtuturo or facing ng learning plan? We develop that sense of ownership, the mastery of the subject because we are the one who wrote the learning plan. It also gives that accountability to curriculum. Kung ano pang improve, enhance, baguhin, i-revise, tanggalin sa curriculum. No? It is better for us to create a plan before we face our students or learners, no? Na meron tayong learning plan instead na humarap tayo sa kanila na wala tayong learning plan. So as presented sa slide, these are the basic parts of a detailed lesson plan. Objectives under ICS, PS, LC, content standards, performance standards, learning competencies. Roman number 2, content. Roman number 3, learning resources. Roman number 4, learning procedures under A, before the lesson, B, during the lesson, C, after the lesson. Itong ABC under item number 4 ay meron pa siyang specific parts. No? Under Roman number 5, assignment, it's optional, lalo na kung wala siyang maaring hindi na kailangang iproseso dahil successfully met na yung intended na learning procedures. There are times we are giving assignment kung kapos, no? Or may kailangan tayo i-clarify doon sa natutunan nila sa learning procedures. Roman number 6, remarks. Roman number 7, reflection. So sa objectives class, ang ating content standards, again, performance standards, learning competencies ay hindi natin binabago. Dahil ito'y nakaangkla at nakasulat na sa curriculum guide na binigay ng DepEd. It was developed by professionals hired or work for the Department of Education. It is accurate, no? And it described the standard goals of what you want your learners to be able to accomplish after the particular content or lesson. No, it answers what, why, how to teach. It includes this include objectives related to content knowledge and competencies. Okay. So sa content standards, yung learning area is based on facts, concepts, and procedures that learners need to learn. Andito natin matatagpuan sa content standards ang tripartite domains of learning. Ano ulit yung tripartite domains of learning? Cognitive is the power to process information. Affective, the power to change feelings, value theory, and attitudes. Psychomotor, the power to use and respond through motor skills, the learned cognitive and affective skills, no? Application na yon. Matatagpuan natin ulit ang CAP, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor sa content standards. Sa performance standards naman, we can describe the abilities and skills that learners are expected to demonstrate. Sa performance standard, going back sa CAP, kanina, no, alin ang pinaka-importante ulit sa CAP? That is psychomotor, no? How can we monitor or see the psychomotor? Through abilities and skills. So in plotting or writing or constructing performance tasks or check, we should align this sa performance standards. Dahil ito yung nag-visualize, nag-materialize ng content standards. Kailangan i-act it out, no? Highest order of thinking skills. Dapat makita, no? Hindi lamang sa cognition, hindi lamang sa feelings, no? Sa emotion or value system, kailangan siyang execute para makita yung ripple effect, no? At makinabang ang lipunan, no? Pagdating sa content, dito natin makikita yung title ng particular na topic, chapter or course, no? Dito natin siya matatagpuan. Okay, math, oh, that is addition. Okay, science, that is general science introduction. About philosophy, okay, pre-Socratic philosophers or fallacies nandun, no? So, dito natin makikita sa content yung title ng course or ng subject or topic na i-discuss natin, no? Sa learning competencies, na andito naman ang KSA, no? Knowledge, skills, and attitudes sa learning competencies, no? Sa LCs or learning competencies, ito yung kailangang i-demonstrate yung product of change na nakita sa knowledge, skills, and attitudes ng learners. Siyempre, itong learning competencies, ito ay combination ng 4Cs, no? Ng MIT at saka FLIPS, no? Yung tinatawag natin na, pag tinawag natin na learning skills na 4Cs, ito yung critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Kapag sinabi nating literacy skills, ito yung media, information, and technology. Pag sinabi nating flips, ito yung flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Okay? So going back, ang content ay main topic or subject matter of particular content that the lesson focuses on. Learning resources, ito naman yung references and other learning resources that the teacher will use. Yung gagamitin natin. Maybe video clip, textbook, teacher's guide, self-learning module, what else? Learning packets, encyclopedia, dictionary, e-journal, at iba pang magazine, no? At iba pang learning resources, yung source ng information, no? Sa Roman number 4, we simplified those parts ng learning procedure into 3, pero yan ay may sub-items, no? Sa ibang school, ang ginagamit nila ay as simple as pre-lecture before the discussion, lecture, lesson proper, or discussion proper, post-lecture after the discussion. No? So, dito makikita natin sa before the lesson, maaari natin gamitin dito ang formative assessment. Question and answer para makita natin kung may alam or meron ng first-hand knowledge ang ating mga mag-aaral bago natin i-discuss yung particular topic. It helps us to identify kung meron na sila initial information, then madali na sa atin. Kung wala sumasagot or wala nakakasagot sa questions natin, then back to basic yung ating discussion. No? For example, teacher ka sa philosophy, and then you ask them if they are familiar with the word fallacy. Since ito yung first encounter nila, no? So, gagamitin mo ay basic doon, no? Dahil wala silang first-hand knowledge about fallacy, no? During the discussion or the lesson, we can utilize formative assessment via recitation, no? Uh, just simple Q&A, no? To trace whether they follow or they are following yung ating tinuturo. Habang tayo nagdi-discuss, maya magtatanong tayo kung tama, kung nasusundan nila yung discussion natin. At kung hindi or mali, babalik tayo doon sa umpisa na tinuturo natin yung concept. No? And after the lesson, ito na yung recorded through performance check, a quiz, no? Written assessment. No? So before the lesson, we can use the review of the previous lesson. We also establish the purpose of the lesson, present examples or instances in real context. No? It is the beginning of the lesson. We can use a start up, warm up, icebreakers, formative assessment. No, because we try to introduce the new lessons and connect this from the previous lesson. So during the lesson naman, it includes discussing new concepts, practicing new skills 1, discussing new concepts and practicing new skills 2. Developing mastery, no? Maaring formative assessment yung gamitin. Finding practical applications, concepts, and skills in daily living, no? I-apply na nila. And making generalization and abstractions about the lesson. Sa lesson proper or during the lesson, no? The facilitator formally convey new information, no? Help them to master that information, provide feedback, regularly check learners' understanding by Q&A, no? By worksheets, by simple activity, no? Dito na natin in-execute yung performance standard, yung content standards, yung learning competencies, and it will end up performance standards, no? So dito makikita na natin yung knowledge, skills, attitudes, cognitive, affective, psychomotor, no? So after the lesson, we evaluate learning by providing them written works, performance check, recorded assessment, no? We also include additional activities for application or remediation, lalo na kung mayroong misconception or kulang kung kinakailangan mag-reteach, no? And if successfully implemented, na meet yung learning objectives, no? We formally end the lesson by summarizing the lesson, no? The reason why we summarize the lesson is ito ay nakabatay sa law of exercise ni Thorndike, no? Yung repetition. Remarks ay ito ay nilalaman nito yung special cases, no? Kailangan ba mag-reteach, no? Transfer of lesson, remarks maaring hindi na-discuss yung topic dahil may class suspension dahil sa bagyo or merong events, no? Or insufficient time, kailangan adjustment, no? Samantalang yung reflection naman, ito yung teacher factor where the teacher can reflect on and assess their effectiveness, how it is successfully implemented, what are the needs to improve, pwede maggamit ng SWOT, no? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and what are the things to be adjusted in the future pag ginamit na ulit yung kasunod, yung same learning plan or lesson plan. So ito yung example ng daily lesson log from Monday to Friday. Pag lesson plan or detailed learning plan, yun ay nakafocus lang sa isang column. And naka-specify dito lahat ng gagawin as if you're narrating what you will do at what to teach, why to teach, and how to teach. Okay? So sa heading, usually dito nilalagay din yung logo ng school, and then pangalan ng school, grade level na tuturuan, pangalan ni teacher, learning area, ano? Ilang quarter, ano yung specific date and time na ituturo. Ito naman yung content na diniscuss natin kanina, no? From objectives composed by content standards, performance standards, learning competencies, and then Roman number 2, content, no? Roman number 3, learning resources. So maaaring learning resources or references ay manggaling sa teacher's guide, learning materials, textbook pages or additional materials, other learning resources, maaaring video clip, magazine, encyclopedia, video clip sa online platform, no? Sa learning procedures, ito na yung pinahaba na tatlo na before, during, and after the lesson, no? Ang ating before the lesson, it is composed of review previous lesson, no? It connects the lesson with learners' a priori knowledge, no? Establishing a purpose for lesson, it motivates learners to learn new lesson. Presenting examples, instances of the new lesson, no? Ito yung concepts are clarified kung tama ba na naunawaan nila yung A and B. The beginning of the lesson, maaaring gamitin natin yung startup, warm-up, icebreaker, formative assessment to introduce a new lesson and connect it with the previous lesson, no? During the lesson, ito yung DEF, no? We discuss new topics and practice new concepts, skills, no? Number 1, we pose good questions, no, to gauge if they understood the lesson. If not, reteach. Sa number 2, we encourage learners to find new ways to apply learning. We can use think, pair, share, group, teamwork, no, individual. Sa F naman, it leads to formative assessment. No? It can be done through individual work, dramatizing, quiz, worksheets, drills, games, seatwork. Ato namang sa finding, no? Ito bandang huli na, no? Finding, practical application concepts and skills in daily living. We bridge lessons to daily living. Ina-apply na natin sa real context, sa lipunan. After learning those sa state ng cognitive and affective, i-apply na sa lipunan, psychomotor na, no? And itong last part, yung ending the lesson, no, or post-lecture, we also make generalization abstraction about the lesson learned. We declare the knowledge, skills, and attitudes, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, no? Sa learning procedure na last part din, no? Sa evaluating learning, we find ways to identify whether the learning objectives have been met. Should top 3 types of objectives, yung content standards, performance standards, learning competencies, no? Sa additional activities, no, dito natin matatagpuan yung formative assessment that will provide learners with enrichment or remedial activities. Kung kailangan enhance yung natutunan, kinapos, or kailangan pa iproseso, then maglalagay tayo ng additional activities like homework or assignment. No? Then we formalize lesson closing or end the lesson, no? By summarizing the lesson that we discussed for that particular day. Sa reflection, ito yung usually na nilalaman, no? Na more in specific, inaalam din natin yung percentage ng naka-earn sa evaluation, yung recorded assessment. Ilan ang members or learners, members ng klase na nangailangan ng remediation or after the class discussion or after school discussion. Effective kaya yung remedial? Alin kaya ang learners na na-promote or na-improve? At alin kaya yung may kailangan ulit ng remediation? No? Ano kaya yung strategies na ginamit ni teacher na effective? At bakit ito naging effective? Ano kaya yung aking difficulty sa pagtuturo na maaaring itulong sa akin ni principal or supervisor? Mag-provide ba ng training? Kulang ba ang gamit? Kulang ang oras? No? And ano kaya yung na-develop natin na localized or indigenized products or materials na maaari nating i-share sa iba? No? So, in writing a learning plan, we need to consider the spiral progression, constructivist approach, differentiated instruction, and contextualization. When we say spiral progression, there's a higher degree. Scaffolding, especially sa math and science. Sa science, if you notice sa first quarter, nandun yung Gen Sci, second quarter ay biology, third quarter ay chemistry, fourth quarter physics, grade 7. Then grade 8, ganun ulit, uulit-ulit. Pero yung difficulty ay pataas. No? So ganun yung sasalang-alang natin in writing and designing learning plan. Another is constructivist in approach. We need to reorganize, rewrite, allow learners to critique, to finish the story, no? To make meaning dun sa activity na ginawa nila. Ito dapat yung mag-end doong lesson na tinatalakay natin. No? If you notice sa English, may storyboard no? Then the teacher, the textbook will ask the learner to conclude the story. No? And when it comes to differentiated instruction, we recognize multiple intelligences. We allow them to choose how they will present their learned experiences a particular topic, whether they will sing, dance, draw, talk, write a poem, no? Make a reflection, yun, no? Stage play or play, no? Games, yon, depende, no? Sa contextualization naman, ito yung localization and indigenization. Meaning kapag gumagawa tayo ng performance task, problem, or discussion, instead of teacher A, B, C, D, we use teacher Cruz, teacher 1, no? Company ABC, gamitin natin na company Rizal, no? Company equity, no? Company powers, gano'n, no? So inilalapit natin yung learner sa mas makatotohanang senaryo, no? As if you just replace the name and then andun na siya sa paligid.